party's over. It's time to call it a day. They burst your pretty balloon and taken the moon away. It's time to wind up the masquerades. Just make your mind up. The piper must be paid. The party's over. The candles flicker and dim. Now you must wake up. All dreams must end. The party's over. It's over, my friend. It's all over, my friend.
Anti-Afro Spingali's Nat King Cole knocks it out the park, even when he's resting in peace. What better song to describe what Dumpsey D.Derell Spears is facing at this point in time? For Dumpsey D.Derell, he did consider it a party, trying to destroy the lives of innocent people. He thought it was all funny. It indeed was a party for him. He had the time of his life. It didn't seem like he's had fun anywhere else in life until he saw an opportunity to destroy people whose lives he envied, that he coveted, that he wished that he had. He knew all along he was stealing. So for him to take this opportunity to jump on innocent people and pretend that they have his life, he wasn't about to pass that opportunity up, but look what's happened now. We need to focus on something that has to be made clear with respect to Dumpsey D.Derell continuing to assert that he's going to keep doing what he's always done, supposedly speak on mental health issues and go live from his office. So we have to make sure the law is clear. When you have a situation here between Judge Bennett, who's presiding over this case, we will not forget Dumpsey D.Derell is facing a 9-count federal indictment, 5 counts of healthcare fraud, 4 counts of aggravated identity theft. He was placed on pre-trial release. So I want to talk about what this means, this battle here that Dumpsey D.Derell has laid down. Judge Bennett versus the state of Texas. Now, look at the release conditions. It says it right here on the first page that he is to obey all laws, state, federal, local laws. So when a judge issues an order, that is a law. If you violate the order, you violate the law. It's just that simple, folks. It's not hard. It's not complicated. Certainly not anywhere near rocket science. It also says he must submit to supervision. The supervision is under the federal probation officer assigned from pretrial services. It also indicates, this is where Dumpsey D.Derell might quite possibly try to perp as if he doesn't know what's going on. It says he must be looking for or continue full-time employment. So he can say, I was getting a job. I'm supposed to be working. But let's keep going, folks. It specifically states violating any of the foregoing conditions of release may result in the immediate issuance of a warrant for your arrest, a revocation of your release, an order of detention, a forfeiture of any bond, and a prosecution for contempt of court, and could result in imprisonment, a fine, or both. So there's a reinforcement from page 1. The court orders must be followed. And let's go down, folks. The court ordered the defendant 30 days from the date of this order to close his practice. After 30 days, the defendant is prohibited from billing Medicare and Medicaid directly or indirectly, given the charges pending in the indictment. So, for example, let's pretend that he is legitimately seeing a client, that he actually has clients that come in and get treatment. We're pretending this is a big stretch, but let's do it for the sake of this point that I'm illustrating. He would have to be billing Medicare or Medicaid to hold that session. Those would be legit services. And of course, if he's providing a service, he's closing out the case, he's helping the client be referred, he has a right to bill for that. I just don't believe he has those circumstances set up in his office. I think so much of this was fraudulent bullshit. Here you have the acknowledgement of the defendant. He signed, I acknowledge that I am the defendant in this case and that I am aware of the conditions of release. I promise to obey all conditions of release, to appear as directed, and surrender to serve any sentence imposed. I am aware of the penalties and sanctions set forth above. But no, he's acting in defiance by making the statements that he made. Certainly true that unless he violates the conditions of release on or after November 1st, 2025, therein will be violations of the court order. Him just talking smack right now, he's just talking smack. They really can't do anything. But he's fully aware. You can imagine how Dumpsey D.Derell felt. What happened to him internally? It had to be a total and complete obliteration to hear, close your practice within 30 days. But here's the question. The overriding question is this: whose word takes precedence? Because as it stands now, the board has not taken any action on this issue. As far as I know, as of Sunday, 5:40 Pacific Standard Time, they don't know that this order has been issued, but we're going to be changing that forthwith. They will be notified by yours truly. Still, revoking a license, they don't have the chance to do that automatically because they don't have situations in place that afford for them to do that, to revoke it immediately. But do they need that? The answer is no, because you have an order from a federal judge. The federal court supersedes any state agency with respect to orders and directives placed upon a person who has a certification or a license or a credential. The federal court, what they say goes. Now, Dumpsey D.Derell can decide, you know what, lawyer, I want to go back to court and we want to ask the judge to modify the conditions of release. He has a right to ask for that. The U.S. attorney, the federal prosecutor, and there is a financial litigator on this case. I'll go over that in another video. They have a chance to weigh in. Both sides will be considered. Then the judge will or will not change the order. But until then, he is bound by obedience. Going live in that office, he's running a risk of being arrested, being in contempt of court, because he no longer has a business. And he says he's going to go online and talk about mental health issues. He is going to run afoul of Judge Bennett. Guarantee you that. He's trying to thumb his nose up and act as if he doesn't have to listen. He's obviously very angry that this is happening. But guess whose responsibility and fault that is? That is no one other than Dumpsey D.Derell himself. He created the circumstances that he's found himself in. And now he doesn't want to accept the conditions of pretrial release. He just wanted to get the hell up out of there. So he signed anything. Go back to court if you want to change the conditions of release, or he's going to risk being arrested, placed in custody, and quite possibly held there until the trial. If they feel he's doing things that are putting people at risk, they can keep him behind bars. And we know he's already targeted innocent people, vulnerable people. He has ripped them off. So they're not going to trust that he'll be able to continue practicing without doing something nefarious and shady like he's done for so long. Folks, I got so much more to bring to you about this case. But for now, Judge Bennett's word is the law. It rules the day over the state licensing board. It doesn't matter if the license is still active with the state. When a federal judge tells you to close your practice, that is what he must do. And trying to play fast and loose with these orders is going to get his ass put right back in the slammer until the trial starts. More coming, folks. In the meantime, buyer beware.